Hello YouTube, it's me Shane of TheGirlsCloset.com and welcome back to my channel. As always, I love having you guys here, and it is story time, story time, story time. It is story time here on my channel, and we're going to talk about one of my worst dates ever. Yes, I'm talking about one of my worst dates I've ever been on. Now, let me talk about a little bit about my dating history. Even before I started dating my current boyfriend, I wasn't one that was big on like going on dates. Like if we went on a date, like that was cool, but if we didn't go, I wasn't like mad that we didn't go on dates. So this particular, I don't have like a long list of dates that I could pick and choose from. My going on dates list is quite small, but this one in particular, this is just, it's a story that I always laugh at, because when I think about like what the hell was I thinking at that time, it never fails. So let's just hop into this story. I'll be sipping on a little bit of pomegranate salsa water because I have been on a salsa water kick lately. Don't judge me. So let's just get into this. So I'm gonna go ahead and rewind till about 2013, maybe 2012, probably 2012. And so I used to do a little bit of online dating, and and I met this guy online. To this day I can't remember his name, but we're just gonna call him AJ for now. His name is gonna be AJ, and AJ was fine. AJ was gorgeous. He was chocolate skin, really fine. Yeah, he was a chocolate skin, had just long flowing locks, had a beautiful body, just like muscular, which now I think about it was definitely not my type, but you know, whatever. So AJ and I started to communicate via online, and then we exchanged numbers and we started communicating via text. And then he was like, listen, I would really love to hang out, let's go grab a drink or something, I really want to take you out. So I was like, what the hell? Sure. So after about 2 weeks of going back and forth trying to figure out his schedule and my schedule, we decided on a date, and we went to a restaurant not too far from my house. So I was like, you know what, cool, whatever. So I get off work, I come home, and I get all, I wasn't gussied up at all, like it wasn't like beat down, but I pulled it all together, had to pull the girls over for just a little bit. And so he gets to the restaurant before I do, and the hostess was like, oh yeah, he's waiting on you. I was like, oh, he's on time, because we were like, listen, we don't live in the same area, but like I felt better just meeting him there as opposed to him coming to pick me up, because I don't know if he could have been like a Sandinista or something. He could have been crazy. I don't want him coming to my house. So I said, let's just meet there. So he gets there before I do. I show up, and he had already ordered like nachos, but we ended up picking up the nachos. We weren't really like hungry, so we kind of left the nachos kind of just sitting there doing whatever they wanted to do. And so we just decided to have drinks. The conversation was cool. Like we had some chemistry, like, there was some sort of chemistry involved, but it wasn't like, yo, I am here for all of this. And as I'm sitting there talking to him, there was just too many red flags as he was talking. He one of them dudes that have a million jobs, but you don't know what it is that he actually does. Get this. He was like, I'm a male model. He said, I'm a male model. I have my own production company. What did he say? Production company. He was like a travel agent. He was a travel agent, and he had his own t-shirt line. And I was just like, I was waiting for the producer thing to come in too, because that's always like in the list. So I was like, oh, okay. So the male model thing I can see, because he did have a very gorgeous face, great features, perfect for being a male model. So I asked myself, production company, okay, so what does your production company do? And he says, well, we dabble in adult films. And I was like, so you do porn? Basically, like, your company does porn. He was like, well, I don't want to call it that. And I was like, that's what it is. Adult films is porn. Just call it what it is. Let's keep moving. He mentioned travel agent. I said, do you travel often? He was like, yeah, I'm always, on the go in different places. I really love to see the world. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I love a guy that's going to try to be cultured, at least go get outside of his comfort zone. And him being from Newark, You know, getting outside of Newark is always a good thing. And well, getting outside of Jersey is always a good thing. So let's just be 100 about it. And then the t-shirt line, I kind of looked at him like, so basically you put some screen prints on a shirt and you sell them on Instagram. Wasn't hot then, so it was like Facebook and Twitter. And he was like, yeah, you know, so I make a little, you know, I got a little bit of money here and there. And I was like, okay, you know what? Everybody got a side hustle. Not gonna knock the side hustle. So when we started talking about traveling, I told him, I said, you know, one of my goals as I get older is I want to do at the very least 2 trips a year. And I want to be able to go to one domestic city and one international city every single year. And he was like, yeah, you know, that's a good idea. You know, I get out and I travel a lot too. So I said, and I let him know that, oh, well, my mom is from Belize, because as we started talking about international traveling, he was like, oh, snap, you know, I've been to Belize. I was like, okay, so now we really vibe and we going, we're good. And so I was like, yeah, the last time I was in Belize was in 2001. So I really didn't appreciate what Belize was then, because, you know, when you're 11 years old and you a spoiled American child, like you don't really take it all in for what it is. And he's like, yeah, you know, when I go, I don't like staying on resorts and nothing like that. You know, I go to the hood and I make sure I hang out with the Bloods and the Crips while I'm there. And my face went, so let me get this right. You leave the hood to travel and stay in the hood of another country? He was like, yeah, you know, that's what real grit is. That's where, you know, I'll hang out with the Bloods and Crips. That's what I do. And I'm still sitting there like, but let me see if I understand you correctly, sir. Sir, you live in the hood. He told me he lives in the project. So I'm like, you live in the projects. You're in the hood. You take your hard-earned money, because I don't know how hard-earned that money is. You take your hard-earned money, get on a plane, you fly 5, 6, 7 hours to go to another country to go hang out in their ghetto? That was the first red flag, because I didn't know how to feel about that. I was like, so... why? Who does that? Who leaves the hood to go to another hood? I don't get it. I just don't. I was like, no, sir. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. I guess to each his own. Whatever reason this is for, fine. So we kept talking, and I realized as he's talking, I was like, he had been to Belize, because he was talking about things that don't even exist in Belize. And I was just like, okay, second red flag. He's fronting, for real. So then we passed off the international travel thing, and, you know, he started talking about his... Now, mind you, he's doing a lot of talking for himself. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna knock it. You know, at some point, I'll get a word in edgewise to see how this is gonna roll. So we started talking about his production company. And I was like, so you basically, you're producing porn. And I was like, he's like, yeah, you know, it's not as upscale, but... you know, we make it work. So I was like, so how do you find like girls to do it? Like, do people like Craigslist, this type of stuff? And he was like, nah, I mostly get girls that I've been with or like my exes to be in my movies. Like, what? So people you've slept with has willingly said, sure, I will be in your porno. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Like, I don't even know. And I was like, so do you pay them, or like, tell me how this works? Because I personally am not gonna sit here and go, if my ex-boyfriend was like, listen, I'm doing a porno, I want you to be in it. How does that work? Like, how does that conversation even go? He's like, yeah, you know, most of the time we throw a little cash their way, and, you know, it's easy. And I just kept looking at him like, red flag number 3. We just go, you racking up the red flags here. It's just like, okay. I just like, we know at that point I knew the second date wasn't gonna happen. I just knew that wasn't gonna happen. That wasn't gonna, no. The point where I got to talk about myself, and I was telling him, you know, like, this is right when my blog was still trying to get its life together, and I'm, you know, so excited about my blog, and I'm so excited about what I'm doing with it. And I was saying, you know, one thing that I realized, like, you know, numbers are a big thing with blogs. You know, obviously how many people are reading your blog, people following your content and all that type of stuff. And I remember saying to myself, I personally, you know, not to say that I want y'all to stop unfollowing, I want y'all to stop following me, but I feel like I would rather have 1,000 loyal followers that really follow what I do, as opposed to 100,000 that don't care what I do. Because at the end of the day, the 1,000 is more powerful than the 100,000. And he was like, nah, I don't agree with that. And I was like, why not? And he's like, well, you know, you want to make sure you have mad people that know what you're doing. I said, yeah, but if there's no engagement, if they're not really engaging in what you write, what's the point of having 100,000 followers? Whereas if the loyal 1,000 is riding and dying with you, regardless of what it is going on, what you're talking about, that's, to me, is more powerful than having 100,000 people that don't even talk to you. And he was like, but yeah, I'm just, you know, and he was just going on and on and on. And I was like, you have no clue as what you're talking about. Like, you just running your mouth because you just feel like you need to run your mouth about absolutely nothing. And at that point, I was like, by this point, it's been about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, if that. And I was like, well, you know, it was fun. But, you know, I actually like, oh, you ready to go? So he was like, yeah, you know, let's just go, you know. So he pays the bill, which was all of like $30. The car, we're walking outside actually, and I say, oh, where did you park at? He's like, oh no, I took a cab. Okay, so I was like, oh, so you don't have a car, or like, what's up? He's like, nah, I don't have a car right now, so you know, right, it's just cabs and buses. You mind giving me a ride home? I thought long and hard about this. I was like, do I want to get in the car with this person? I don't know. But when he told me his address, I was like, okay, so you ain't that far from, you're not that deep into Newark. Fine. I will give you a ride home. Drive him home, and he's still going on about what he think I should do about my followers. He was like, nah, you know, you don't sell yourself, so you make sure you get all them followers that you can, you know, because that's what's gonna bring you all, that's what's gonna bring all the checks and all that, this and that, this and that. And I was like, I hear you, but 100,000 quiet followers is nothing compared to 1,000 loud followers. Point blank, period. That is what it is. You can't get over, like, that's just what it's gonna be. And so I could not wait to drop him off. Like, I could not wait to get this boy out my dang on car, because he was working on my last good nerve. Like, my last good nerve. I was like, I need you to get out my goddamn car. You are getting on my nerves. And now he want to come in for the kiss. And I was just like, give him a little peck on the cheek. I would love to do this again. I was like, yeah, sure, we'll talk about it. We'll see. And I made a point to delete that number quick, fast, and in a hurry. Can I date was just such a waste of my time, because I was just like, how are you somebody that has 15 different jobs but don't know what the hell? Like, he's somebody that has all these businesses, or he tries businesses, and when they fail, he just keeps it moving. Like, and not to say that's a bad quality to have, but you don't stick to nothing. You don't see anything through. The production, like his production company, he told me he had tried that like 3 or 4 times, and you know, he would just stop, and then he'll get on something else, and then he would stop and get on something else. And I'm just like, that for me is a clear sign you don't stick with nothing. Everything is just a in the moment, fly by night kind of thing with you. And if that's how you do with professional business, I don't want to see what you were like in your personal life, because that means you ain't got no, you not trying to be, not necessarily committed. I'm like, I wasn't trying to get married then, but I'm just saying, like, that means in 6 months when you get tired of me, you're gonna move on to the next person or the next female. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what girls you used to dealing with, where it's like you could just hop in and out or whatever. That's not what I'm looking for. Sorry, sir. Nope, not doing it. I just can't be a part of that. So there you have it, guys. That was my worst. That was story time, my worst date experience. I know it wasn't like, but that was my worst date experience. If you like story time, please go ahead and thumbs this video up. Let me know what is your worst date experience in the comment section below. I would love to hear y'all stories, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has worst date, horrible date stories. I want to know about them. Let's talk about it. And yes, to you people out there, plus size girls do go on dates with fine looking men. So as always, I love you guys. I am Shayna of ThickGirlsCloset.com, and I will see y'all in my next video. Deuces.